Why is there severe air pollution alert in Delhi again?
India's national capital continues to choke with its air quality worsening by the day. The air quality index, or the AQI, has already crossed the 400 mark, dipping into the severe category.
What is GRAP and why the stage 3 has been triggered? And will it solve any actual problems of Delhi? Every winter, Delhi turns into a gas chamber. The AQI shoots up beyond our expectation, goes to severe and hazardous. Schools are shut down, construction is stopped, and smog refuses to clear. And that's when we see the government activate the emergency plan. That is Graded Response Action Plan, or GRAP. Hello everyone, welcome to Vajram and Ravi's Flash News. My name is Shubhangi Singh, and today we are going to understand that what is this emergency plan, how it came into existence, what does it mean, what are the stages, and the most important question, will it work or not. Starting with understanding what is the situation at hand. So when we talk about the situation at hand, as per yesterday's AQI, we saw that AQI turned severe. That means it went more than 400 plus, and if you see the numbers of today, they are further higher than this. There are areas in Delhi which have seen AQI of more than 700, and as soon as the air quality went into the poorest category that we can see, that means severe, the stage 3 of Graded Response Action Plan of GRAP was activated across National Capital Region. Now the main question is obviously in your mind, what exactly is GRAP? We'll get into it. But the question is also why this is happening. So we have twofold major factors herein. First, meteorological causes. Because of the stable weather that we have, there are no winds that we get to see, the low temperature that is existing, which is facilitating the trapping of pollutants. And all of this is facilitated by temperature inversion also. Second important factor here is definitely the pollutants coming out. How are they coming out? They are coming through vehicular emission, they are coming through stubble burning, they are coming through industries. So all of these are the reasons that we get to see the heightened pollutants being trapped in our capital region. Now this is when we move to understand that what exactly is GRAP. So when we are talking about GRAP, that is Graded Response Action Plan, basically it is a framework which is used to tackle the seasonal air pollution episodes that we get to see in the National Capital Region. Now, it was introduced in 2017, and you have to remember that it was not directly introduced by government. We will get into that also. And this was done by Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change when there were EPCA recommendations. The whole idea of this whole framework that there will be proper stage-wise implementation of proper emergency actions which will be taken based on AQI. Because if you are aware, then we have already implemented stage 1 of GRAP in the last month itself. And as of now, this whole setup of GRAP is managed by CAQM, that is Commission of Air Quality Management. Now, when we are talking about this framework, you have understood that it is a stage-based framework. Now, let us break this down and understand that what are the stages that we are talking about. So, when we are talking about the stages, we get to see 4 stages in here. Stage 1 is the poor category, when we get to see the AQI poor. The AQI has to be between 200 to 300. Then stage 2, we get to see the AQI 301 to 400, and based on that, these stages are implemented. As stage 3 has been invoked, then the category of air is between 401 to 450, and in coming days, we might even see stage 4 being implemented. We'll get into the details of the stages as well, but before that, let us understand that how did this whole setup, the stage-wise framework of GRAP came into being. So when we talk about the introduction of this stage-wise framework, we have to understand there was a proper need of this plan because vehicular and industrial emissions, construction dust, biomass stubble burning and unfavorable winter made Delhi gas chamber, as the image shows you right here in the background. This is what Delhi's winter looked like year after year. Now this is when we get to see Supreme Court in 2016 directed a graded institutional framework, because before these responses were fragmented, they were not in a specific direction, and most importantly they were uncoordinated. So to address this, Supreme Court addressed this situation, and this can be considered as a matter of judicial activism and also judicial oversight, and in some scenarios people talk about judicial overreach as well, which shows that government is failing to do its basic job, and that's where judiciary had to pull up the matter in its own hand. Because this is not the only time that SC has stepped up for pollution, environmental governance. There are multiple examples that you can see. Can you tell me a few in the comments section? Now we will be moving to understand that how GRAP came into being after SC's direction. So once SC had directed, in 2016 EPCA was set up, that is Environmental Pollution Prevention and Control Authority, which talked about that there should be a structured and stepwise plan. Then in 2017, the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change notified GRAP under the EPA, that is of 1986, and its implementation began from 2021 under CAQM, and it is responsible not just for NCR but also the adjoining state, so that there could be a proper interstate coordination that can be seen. Now, the whole idea of GRAP was to bring in a uniform action mechanism, framework, plan, so as to ensure not just interstate coordination, in a direction the effort should be taking place, and it also talked about automatic escalation of responses. So, air quality dips, GRAP is implemented, and it changes also if the air quality keeps on decreasing. So this basically enables a predictable enforcement which needs to be prepared for. There will be no delays, no changes or any kind of political disputes when there is a emergency, a public health crisis at hand. So this was the whole idea of GRAP. And as I said, it is laid over 4 major stages. First stage, which talks about poor air quality between 200 to 300. Now in this scenario, certain mechanisms, for example, mechanized sweeping or washing of roads takes place. There is ban of firecrackers, increased scrutiny of vehicles. There is large unregistered construction and demolition sites which are shut. But when stage 2 comes in, these actions become stricter. Dust control measures come in place at construction and demolition sites. Then we have parking fee, which increases by 3-4 times so that people are discouraged for using vehicles. This time we have also seen that Delhi government has brought in staggered timeline. So MCD offices will open on different time and the government offices will open on different time. Stop uses of coal, firewood in EVs, augmenting frequency of CNG vehicles. Stage 3, where we get to see, this is where extreme actions are taken. For example, there is bar of BS3 petrol and BS4 vehicles so that they do not come on road at all. Government takes decision on shutting primary schools. This time you get to see that class 5th till class 5th there will be online classes, and after that it is in hybrid mode. Government can also decide on banning non-essential construction work, and this gets more heavy duty in stage 4, where there is ban on entry of diesel vehicles, there is odd even vehicle policy, etc. Now let us understand what exactly is being done in stage 3 which has been invoked. So as of now, if we talk about construction and demolition, we get to see there is a ban on non-essential construction and demolition activities. When we are talking about industry, all stone crushers, mining and RMC plants have been closed. Furthermore, in terms of vehicles, BS3 petrol and BS4 diesel cars have been banned in NCR. And truck entry has also been limited. It is only for essential items, be it food, fuel or waste. Other than that, no truck entry has been allowed. Apart from that, there are certain other changes as well. For example, if we talk about schools, up to class 5th, as I said, there will be online classes. Apart from that, there will be hybrid mode. And for dust control, mechanical road sweeping has been brought in, and water sprinkling, the tanks that you see sprinkling water around have already been put in place. Now that we have understood all about GRAP and the stage 3 that has been brought in, the question is, will it work? Has it worked? So when we are talking about this framework which brings in actions as per the increasing AQI, this is where you get to see the response. But the problem is, if the pollutants are keep coming, the meteorological conditions remain the same, GRAP can address the situation to a limited extent. In this situation, let us try to understand what are the things that will help. For example, in this situation, we have a database trigger system. It is not disputed. It is not on the will of a political party. This will come into action. This will also ensure proper timely coordination among agencies, among the states, and public visibility will also create behavioral awareness. But at the same time, this is only a short-term crisis response. When we are talking about the challenges which are associated, limitations which are associated with GRAP, they are bigger than the help that it is offering. And in coming times, this needs to be reconsidered and enhanced. I am not saying that this is wrong, this is incorrect, this is not in the right direction, but there needs to be more effort in this very direction. Because if we talk about the limitations, we get to see that it is only reactive, it is not preventive. So once the pollution is there, that's when GRAP is implemented. Before that, nothing happens. Apart from that, if we talk about implementation, you have to understand monitoring is very important, which is being questioned these days, and enforcement will take place according to the monitoring. Third factor, that a lot of things here are meteorologically dependent. You cannot help the calm weather. You cannot help the temperature. You cannot override the whole poor weather that exists. So all of these needs to be considered, and most importantly the regional issue. When we are talking about Delhi, the gas chamber we are talking about, the pollutants that are coming are not just from there. The adjacent states, the NCR states are also the contributing factor in terms of pollution. So they also should be a contributing factor in the solution as well. So if we talk about what can be done, we have to understand that we have to bring in GRAP with a long-term control plan which also considers prevention. We have interstate coordination, but we need better interstate coordination in terms of prevention as well. For example, stubble management. There is more importance that needs to be placed on meteorological condition. For example, forecast-based early warning systems. And most importantly, it needs to bring in all stakeholders. This is not just about the government, not just about the judiciary, but also the citizens, where they need to do their bit, be it carpooling, be it reducing private vehicle use, be it increasing the public vehicles, everything that can help this situation. And most importantly, lay the foundation of green infrastructure and clean fuel, which will help us in the long term. Now that was all from my side. Let me know what you think about this in the comment section. I will be leaving you with a practice question here. The answer you can give in the comment section. I'll reveal the answer in the upcoming videos. That was all from my side. Thank you so much.